Hey everyone, it's James from FunFoods, and today I'm going to show you how to make this tiny rainbow cake and these rainbow cake pops that are covered in chocolate. So keep watching and I'll show you step by step how to make these. So the first thing we need to do is make a white cake, and I'm going to use a cake box mix. Don't hate on me. I'm doing that. You can make one from scratch, but we're going to make this, and this recipe here, this video is really about the decoration more than the actual cake itself. So we're just going to start off with this and make it according to the instructions. Now we're just going to pour our mix into the bowl. So the box calls for ½ cup of vegetable oil. So here we go. 1 1/4 cups of water. And we're just going to mix this up. So I almost forgot the important part, which is the egg whites of 4 large eggs. Now I'm using the egg whites just to keep the mixture white as opposed to yellow if I use the whole egg. And if I use the whole egg, I'd have to use just 3 instead of 4. But here we go. Now let's try mixing it up again with the egg whites this time. When that's all done, we're going to divide it to 6 different bowls. You don't need much in each bowl. Add each color of the food coloring to each bowl. Purple. And just mix them up. Now take a cookie sheet, and it's lined, but I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray. Next up is we are going to start with our purple, and we're just going to make them into 6 different squares. So we're going to start with our purple, and we're going to make each line about 2½ inches thick. So just pour it on there. Now we're going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to check on it. When it comes out of the oven, now we're going to let it cool completely, and 20 minutes was the perfect time. So now what I have right here is a cookie cutter. This is about 1.5 inches in diameter, and what we're going to do is cut out our cake. And you can do probably 3 or 4 different cakes, depends on how many you want to make. I'm going to do 3 of them. And just start out and take it and just press it down. There we go. And I'll do another one. That one came right out. That's perfect. So you see right here. And just do that with all the colors. And I know it's a bit of a trigger warning if you look at this rainbow right here, but it doesn't matter that it's out of order. Yes, you might have noticed that the yellow should have been here, and then orange, and then red. But it really doesn't matter because we're really not using that. We're going to put them in order next anyway. Now make sure you save this because we're going to make cake pops with it. But for right now, let's just move it aside. Now in between each layer, we're just going to put some frosting there just to hold the 2 pieces together. Now what we're going to do is a crumb coat, and what a crumb coat is just like a brief covering of the entire cake. You're covering it, but it's okay if there's like spots you missed. It's just a crumb coat, so no big deal. So just take your frosting and put it on the top, and here we go. Did I ever tell you that cake decorating is not my thing? As you can tell. Now trust me, it looks really, really bad right now, but when it's done, hopefully it'll look better. I think it will though. So we're gonna let it chill in the refrigerator for a little bit, and hopefully that will help before we apply our final coat of frosting. When your cake comes out of the refrigerator, it should have stiffened up a bit, and it'll make it easier for us to put the final coat on there now. And like I said, I am not a cake decorator, but I'm gonna do my best. It also helps if you use some creamy frosting. I'm using store-bought, but you can use your own. Just make it a little creamier. It makes it a little easier. And here we go. And as you see, it is a little difficult to frost this cake because it is very tall and it doesn't have a wide base. So when I'm going around the top, it wants to almost topple over, so I have to be careful on that. So I can't do the things I really want to do. But we're going to make it look good anyway. We'll find a way. I'm going to put it back in the refrigerator now, but this time only about 10 minutes, and see if we can smooth it out with some wax paper afterwards. All right, so I got it out of the refrigerator now. It's been in there about 15 minutes. I got some wax paper. I'm just going to see if I can kind of smooth it around and make it smoother, because who knows? It doesn't look all that great right now. So here we go. See if we can kind of just gently smooth it. It's probably not working. This is why I'd rather use fondant. Paper towel is actually working a little bit better. I'm just kind of patting it with a paper towel. It is putting the pattern of the paper towel on there a little bit. So the paper towel actually worked better than the wax paper, but of course, if you had time to freeze it, and you kind of probably could have smoothed it out really good with the wax paper. Now, I think it looks really good actually, and I think we should just cut it open and see how it looks in the middle. Try to cut it. Kind of hold it in place. Come on, cut. I'm trying to cut a slice out of it the best I can. Not bad. Let's see. Come on, come out perfectly. Come on. Look at that. That is our tiny rainbow cake. So at this point for the cake pops, what I'm going to do is just take all of one color at a time and crumble up the remainder of this cake. So you just take this, crumble it into a bowl. Now we're going to take about a tablespoon of cream cheese that's softened to room temperature, put it in here and mix it up. It's almost always just to use your hands to mix it through. If you're making it for other people, put gloves on, but I'm just making it for myself. Just take it and get down and dirty and just mix. Now it should be this Play-Doh-like consistency where you can actually ball it up, and that's what we're going to do. Make some like meatball shapes now. So grab a handful, ball it up. There you go. Now put this on a baking sheet. And before you put it in the freezer, it's a good idea to put your stick through the stuff and just make sure it's packed on there good. It's also helpful if you dip it in some white chocolate first before we put it in there, but I'm gonna wait and see how it works at the end. Now put this in the freezer for about 15 minutes. And then we're gonna move on to our other colors, and the next one is yellow, of course. Now we're gonna melt down some white chocolate candy melts. You can use white chocolate if you like. I like working with candy melts because they're just easier to melt. So let's melt these down. Now that our chocolate's all melted, we're gonna bring our cake pops out of the freezer and dip them in it. All right, so our cake pops are out of the freezer. They should be nice and firm. We're gonna dip them into our chocolate now. So we're gonna start off with the red one and just submerge it, dip it, and here we go. Tap off the excess. I like to put them on these styrofoam things so they can stand straight up and harden. So I'm gonna let these dry completely and then go on and dip the rest of them. All right, so our cake pops have firmed up now. And what do you say we cut into them or bite into them even better? So now it's time for the taste test. I'm gonna try I think this is the red one. It's the chocolate covered red cake pop. We will see when I bite into it. So here you go, we're gonna try the red one. It's purple. It's purple and it's delicious. Now what do you say we dig into our little mini cake, or little tiny cake here, and I'm gonna use a tiny fork for that. Here we go. That is delicious. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me make the little tiny rainbow cake and these rainbow cake pops. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Also hit that big red subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. You get new videos all the time. Hit that video right there and check it out. And until then, I'll see you next time. First thing we're going to do, this tiny, let's start over. Now we're going to take a cookie sheet and spray it with some cooking spray. Can't talk.